Hello! So today I'm going to be talking about Stoner by John Williams. Originally published in 1965, this book has been on my shelf for a long time. I can't tell you why after owning this book for such a long time it has taken me such a long time to pick it up, but I think it's just a hype thing. This book has been praised so much across the entirety of BookTube. Critics, everyone absolutely adores this novel. It's been deemed as a masterpiece you've never read. I don't know, so much praise. The hype level was absolutely massive. And I was just afraid that if I picked it up, all of that hype was going to kind of hinder my reading experience. Side note, I'm currently listening to Shogun by James Gavil on audiobook, and it is an absolute beast of an audiobook, coming in just over 54 hours. I decided to read Shogun for two reasons. Number one, the TV show has just come out and everyone is saying it is absolutely incredible and I'm really excited to get into it, but I wanted to read the novel first. I'm one of those people, I always like to read the book first before I watch like the film or the TV show. But also the second reason I started listening to it is because Gemma from Gem of Books reviewed it and said it was absolutely brilliant, and I love big, massive, epic kind of books, so her review really convinced me to give this one a go. But what's all that got to do with Stoner? Well, Gemma from Gem of Books also reviewed Stoner not too long ago, and I remember commenting on that video and saying this has been on my shelf for absolute ages. You've also convinced me to pick this one up and give it a read. And last night, I don't really like to ever have just an audiobook on the go. I like to be reading something as well. Normally I do both. Normally I listen to the audiobook and read the same book at the same time. However, I don't own Shogun. I didn't want to buy it. I'm trying to cut down on buying so many books, so I thought I would just do Shogun on audiobook. And I was looking on my shelf, and because I'm reading Shogun, because Gemma reviewed it recently, I think it just clicked in my head, and I remembered that I had commented on her review of Stoner, so I went, you know what, now's the time. So last night I picked this book up and I gave it a read. So just quickly, I want to say thank you to Gemma, because you seem to have inspired a lot of my recent reading. I'm also really enjoying Shogun, and as you can probably tell, I mentioned that I started reading this last night. That's right, I read this book in one single sitting because it is an absolute masterpiece. I also have to say there's been a fair few subscribers across a fair few books who have commented on various videos of mine saying, have I read Stoner, or that I need to read Stoner. So I just want to say now thank you to you as well for mentioning it. All of you have kind of kept it on my radar, and I can't believe it's taken me so long to read this book. Right then, so what is this book about? We follow William Stoner, an academic in early 20th century America. The novel chronicles Stoner's life from his early humble beginnings, being raised and working on a farm, to his academic career. The novel explores themes of love, loss, and the search for meaning. Stoner's journey through academia and his love for literature reflects the complexities of human existence. Stoner embodies the struggle for meaning and fulfillment within an ordinary life. That being said, this is a novel about how there is no such thing as an ordinary life. It's delivered with minimalist prose and a very understated narrative style, which only enhances that kind of feeling of ordinary. But somehow all those elements combined have created something that is very far away from ordinary. Through his marriage, to being a father, to his battles with fellow academics, we connect to Stoner's stoic principles of endurance and acceptance. His kind of quiet resilience in the face of adversity. The novel is contemplating the value of education and the search for knowledge, offering a poignant portrayal of the human condition and sort of the passage of time. Although written in 1965 and set in the early 20th century, the themes in this novel are timeless. So there you go, that's kind of what this book is about. I'm not going to go into intricate plot details, his friends, his relationships, things like that, and really go in depth about what happens in this novel. Apologies if that's the kind of review you are after. I like to keep things as simple as possible because I just don't want to spoil things. And because this book is quite ordinary in its narrative, I think there is a lot of things in there that are really interesting and utterly gripping. I was totally gripped for every single page of this novel. I could probably cover quite a lot of the basic plot beats very simply, and I didn't really know absolutely anything going in, and I think that's kind of the best way for you to do this novel as well. So let's move on to what did I like and what didn't I like. What I liked. Now, it's probably a bit lazy to say absolutely everything, but absolutely everything is one of those kind of novels I absolutely adored and loved every single page of this novel. I mean, it's a 300-page book, and I did it in one sitting last night. I could not stop. I just couldn't stop. From the very first page, I couldn't stop. That's how good it is. But let's go into a few more details about the things that I loved. Firstly, Stoner as a character is just so beautifully brought to life. The narrative is simple, but yet, as already mentioned, utterly gripping. I laughed, I cried, I got angry, I wanted to throw the book across the room, I wanted to punch some characters in the face, and I wanted to give others a big, massive hug. As an exploration of character and of a life, this book is just knocking it out of the park. I work in academia, I work at a university, so there was a lot I could really connect to within this novel and Stoner's journey, and at times it was a little worrying to see how little has changed. I really love the portrayal of academia as both a haven for intellectual pursuit, but also a kind of battleground for personal and professional conflicts, which all mixed together really kind of shine a light on what is the value of education. Or should I say, what is the true value of education? But anyone who works in higher education within the United Kingdom right now under the Conservative government can probably really relate to Stoner's disillusionment with the educational system. Or should I say the corporate university system. This novel is critiquing the kind of dehumanising effect of capitalist ideology on the education system and on sort of intellectual inquiry. Again, scary how little has changed. I could really relate to Stoner's existential angst of trying to find meaning and purpose within life when sometimes being hit with many challenges and limitations. Stoner is able to find this kind of meaning and purpose within all these challenges that he's presented with. And that leaves you as a reader with this kind of like, I don't know, just really hopeful sort of feeling about life and about valuing life and the things that happen to us. Now, it's been a while since I've done this, but please allow me to switch into hyperbolic Andy mode. This book is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And you're getting it pretty fresh because I finished this book probably about 15, 16 hours ago. This is one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It is a masterpiece. Now, is it the perfect novel? Is it the perfect novel you've never heard of, which I've seen sort of like thrown around on the internet and stuff like that? I have no idea. I think finding the perfect novel is an absolute impossible task. What I can tell you is this. As far as my tastes are concerned, as far as where I am in my life right now, this novel is perfect to me. I absolutely adored every single page, and tomorrow night, I'm going to read it again. It's that good. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot recommend it enough. What didn't I like? Well, of course, there isn't anything I didn't like in this book. I loved everything. So, yeah, I only kept that in there because it's what I usually do. But yeah, I loved everything in this novel. I don't have any notes at all. No notes. At all. No notes! So, yeah, of course, I'm giving it 5 stars out of 5. Of course, this is probably going to be the #1 spot of my best reads of 2024. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine anything winning me over quite the way this novel did. Apologies if I am being a little bit too over the top, a little bit too hyperbolic. Recency bias is probably coming into play because I read it yesterday evening and it's kept me sort of awake all night thinking about it. I've just sort of fallen in love with it. So you're probably getting quite a lot of my raw enthusiasm, and maybe after a week or so it might sort of like calm down into something a bit more measured. But really, yeah, I'm just going to sing this book's praises. I don't know. What I'm really interested in is for you to please comment if you didn't like this book. I'm not, there might be aspects about it that you didn't like, and that's fine, please comment below. But I'm really interested, if you read this book and you hated it or you didn't like it, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm really intrigued as to maybe what I might be missing within it. Maybe it has got some issues and you can sort of bring them to light for me. But anyway, have you read this novel, and if so, what did you think about it? Please let me know in the comments below. I want to thank you so much for watching, and as always, I hope you're well and I hope you're enjoying whatever you might be reading. See you all on the next one, everyone.